Well, as the win today makes it 10 straight, just what do you see from your guys today and how they brought their energy from Arizona?
Played a complete game, saw good pitching, good defense, and the hitting was good from the start. Ceballos getting us on the board early was huge. And then just the constant flow. Bennett Thompson had a really nice hit with two out RBI hit down the third base line. I thought that was great, and it was just a sustained offense. I thought it was a well-played game.
With big weekend coming up, just the value of maintaining momentum in a game like this to try to continue it rolling into the weekend.
Yeah, every game or every weekend's a big weekend. When you play at Oregon, that's the way it is. Every weekend's big. And so whether you're playing Oregon State like we will this weekend or you're playing anybody else, they're all big, and last weekend was a big weekend. Today was a big game. That's a big game for us. Portland's in our state. Being the best team in the state's a deal for us. So, that's something that we have to earn and prove.
What do you think of Turner coming out of the bullpen and throwing 3 2/3 scoreless?
Unbelievable. He was fantastic. That's why he pitched for Team Canada. That's what he showed on Team Canada when he was with them, and he showed it for the first time in a Duck uniform in front of fans and stuff like that tonight. I was really happy for the kid. I thought he threw great. I thought all of our pitchers really competed and threw the ball very well.
Jackson Pace is a guy who struggled recently. Things got a little bit hairy in the fourth inning, but he still gave you solid 3 innings there. Just what do you see from him overall?
I thought Jackson gave us a really good start. For Jackson to do what he did and hand the ball over to Turner, was fantastic. I thought McShane was fantastic, and then Hughes at the end of the game I thought might have even been the best out of all of them. It was a short stint. It was only a 1-inning deal, but he and McShane were outstanding. Credit Coach Angier, to get those guys going. That's a bunch of freshmen and guys that haven't pitched and done a whole lot of innings, and for them to go out there and look like they were juniors, that's hard to do, and credit to Coach Angier. He got those guys pitching and pitching well tonight.
How important was it for Hughes to get off to a couple strikes? He's a guy who struggled with command and last year and this year. Just goes out there and starts firing strikes. How important was that?
It just looked like intent with me. He got out there tonight, and he was on it from the first pitch. Really competitive, unbelievable kid, and a real worker. And so all the good things that are happening to that kid tonight from tonight's ball game. He's earned and he's deserved, and he went for it tonight. I was happy for him.
Seems like Cowley has settled in as the everyday shortstop. What'd you see from his defense out there?
He's just playing consistent. He's doing what he does. He's kind of an old guy out there, and he's a stable force. And I think with all those guys on the infield are kind of old, even though Jacob's only a sophomore. He doesn't play very young. He plays pretty old, and he's really good around the bag. I think he dug one out of the dirt again today, and he's just really fluid around the bag. Made several plays, with balls hit at him as well. So I don't know, that infield's played really well, and Bennett Thompson tonight, catching the way he did, I thought was fantastic.
Your middle of the order, you have Ceballos and Cowley who combined for just 2 outs all game, 6 walks. Tanner gets 2 RBIs today. Just what did you see from them, and how much does that affect, or how much does that help your lineup when those guys are clicking?
Well, you're talking about Tanner Smith. He's got a hit record here in the program. He's an unbelievable competitor. Ceballos is an unbelievable competitor. All these guys are unbelievable competitors, It just energizes me every day to be able to be a part of what they're doing, all that kind of stuff. All the way down to weights in the morning and all the way through the day. Just to have an opportunity to coach those guys and help them when they do something that isn't quite right, and help them when they are struggling, or just be a part of the ride like we are right now when those guys are playing as well as they are. It's a lot of fun.
How nice is it to have Bennett Thompson? Just
Stud.
In general.
Southern Oregon, rock. Just comes from a family of toughness and just great people, and Bennett's a rock star. He goes back there and he catches, and nothing gets by him, and the guy's blocking balls, and don't think that just the pitchers, did it without help. And Bennett was helping them, really receiving the ball well tonight and building them up with confidence. I thought he caught very, very well.
Riku had a couple of plays today, just normal ones, normal fly ball, but he did cut off a single. I think that was in that 4th inning.
Yeah, great play.
And overall on the weekend, he made some ranging plays, showed some range on a fly ball there. Just what have you seen from him, and how important is it to have, or how impressive is it for Riku to be able to play in right field, is not normal position, pretty well?
He played shortstop at Cape Cod Lake. The kid can play anywhere. He's a competitor. He's really fast in the outfield. It's really neat for him, I'm sure, to play tonight. His dad's in town, flew in from Japan. I got to meet him today. That's probably a real special moment for Riku, and you'll get a chance to see him play through the weekend. And Riku's an awesome kid. He's a clubhouse favorite. You know, I mean, that's probably the greatest thing that's going on right now with the club that I get to coach is they're just having a ton of fun off the field and in the clubhouse and the togetherness in the weight room and just everywhere. It's just fun.
Going off of that togetherness, a couple weeks ago when you guys traveled to Washington State, you came back and said that the team was a lot more close. They had better chemistry.
Yeah.
This weekend trip to Arizona, do you feel that even now they're even more closer after that trip as well?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Martyr had a lot to do with some of the things that went on away from the ball field. But then, you know, the leaders, the Grant Smiths, Ceballos, you know, those kind of guys, amongst others, had a lot to do with uniting that locker room and saying, no, we're going to play for each other. You know, we're not going to play for ourselves. And we're going to do things right. We're going to do things right all the time. Sometimes it's going to hurt because we got to hold each other accountable, but we're going to do it because that's the right way to do it. And they're the ones that are doing it. Coach Martyr did a tremendous job of kind of just bringing everybody together. And then there were some other things that went on too that helped the ball club, which is good.
To flip it over to the Oregon State side of it, since this is our media availability for the week, just they haven't necessarily gotten off to the start that Oregon State programs have gotten off to in years past. But what have you seen from them on tape, and just what are their strengths this year?
Oh, I don't know. They've done a nice job. I don't know much about their start and all that kind of stuff. I don't concern myself with that. We're just trying to put our team forward and really just trying to just take one day at a time with our ball club and prepare them. Tomorrow's a great practice day. There'll be some things that we need to work on and try to tighten up for the weekend, and just looking forward to competing again this weekend.
Diodati's gotten a couple starts after hitting the ball a little better in the Arizona series. Obviously still struggled overall. Just what have you seen from him at the plate?
Yeah, just kind of up and down. It's a belief issue. He's got all the talent in the world. You know, I was really happy for Jackson Jaha to get in there, and he gets an at-bat and he smokes one to right field. Good for him. It looks like he's kind of takes a little bit after his dad, probably. His dad could really hit, and that kid can really hit. And so Jackson's probably going to get more opportunities to hit as well. Don't be surprised about that. He's a great kid. He's a real competitor, and that's what you want in your locker room. That's what made Smith as successful as he's been to get the hit record in the program. He's a competitor, and Jaha kind of follows in that same mode. So I like him a lot. He's a good kid.
Probably mix in Hellman into that mix too with Diodati and Jaha.
Drew Smith, I don't know, Garati. There's a lot of good freshmen hanging around here right now, yeah.
Bazana and Forrest are still kind of anchored down that Oregon State lineup. Just how important was it that you guys saw them last season, especially Bazana, and just what have you seen from them on tape?
We've seen a lot from them on tape.
Fair. Have you guys? I'm going to ask my normal question. Have you guys figured out a rotation yet for this weekend?
No, we haven't even talked about rotations and stuff like that for the weekend.
Is there maybe just a possibility of earning one of those spots, especially after how he performed on this past weekend?
Oh, I don't even know. I'd have to talk with Coach Angier. I let him set the pitching, and I just listen.